Vice President Joe Biden made a pretty big comment this week while he was in Sweden. The Daily Mail explains here, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden said on Thursday he expected the military prison in Guantánamo Bay, Cuba, would close before President Barack Obama leaves office in January. So he was asked about it, and here's his direct quote. "That is my hope, and that is my expectation." So Vice President Joe Biden expects Guantánamo Bay to close. Perhaps he knows something we don't. So this is a topic, this is an issue where they've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth time and time again. You know, I can't tell you how many articles I've covered where at times you're like, oh, looks like he's going to close it. He's going to do an executive order or something like that. And then like 2 months later, they'll be like, looks like Obama passed on his last opportunity and chance to close it. Looks like he's not going to do it. And they've given interesting commentaries on both sides. On one side, he promised he'd do it. He wants it to be part of his legacy, and that's what leads him in that direction. On the other side, honestly, he's scared. He's scared because it's an election year. And, you know, if you actually just go balls to the wall and shut it down, the right fearmongers and authoritarian pricks will come out of the woodworks and say, see, he's on the side of the fucking terrorists, weak on terror, you know, weak on ISIS. That's what Obama is. These are the worst of the worst. And look, he just released them. He just released fucking Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Can you believe that? Vote Trump. So he's afraid of that. And the most recent article said he's done. He's not going to do it. Now you have Joe Biden resurrecting the hopes that he will do it. I said it before. I'll say it again. Dude, just do it. Just do it. That which can be set up illegally, unconstitutionally, and extrajudicially can be shut down illegally, unconstitutionally, and extrajudicially. Seriously, think about that. So they do something, when they set it up, that's wildly unconstitutional, wildly illegal under U.S. law and international law. So you have this monstrosity of a system that's not a real thing and not allowed happening. And then they're like, okay, now we have to follow the proper procedures to shut it down. What do I go through Congress? Do I do this? Do I do that? Bitch, they set it up in an illegal wrong way. You can shut it down in the illegal wrong way. That's it. It's shut down. End of conversation, end of debate. Shut down. It's shut down. It's shut down. What are you going to do? Take me to court. Go ahead. Get them on the record, because maybe they will sue you. And then it will be on the history books forever. The Democratic administration shut down the illegal, unconstitutional, extrajudicial prison where torture routinely went on. And the Republicans stood up and said, I am with the torture. I am with the torture and the authoritarianism and the skirting the Constitution and the illegal prison. That's the side I'm on. Get them on the record, dipshit. Now, he's afraid, well, the short-term consequences might be worse because you could lose the election because the Republicans can fearmonger and then win that way. Yeah, but then you're assuming that you can't counter-argue that. Like, this is the sad thing about the Democrats. They don't know how to argue. They don't know how to win in the realm of ideas. All you have to do is say, are you guys this ignorant? Are you this stupid? Do you have any idea who was sent to Guantanamo? Let me give you a clue. It was a deal made with Afghanistan warlords and warlords in Pakistan. And we said, ship us, whoever. We just got attacked on 9/11. We got this new extrajudicial prison. So they were like, sure, we'll send you Al-Qaeda. And then they just sent them whoever the fuck their enemies were. They weren't Al-Qaeda. Go read, there's a story about a guy named Murat Kurnaz. Go read about him. He wasn't a fucking jihadist. He wasn't a terrorist. He was just swept up. I believe he was a German citizen who was in Pakistan, and he just got swept up and fucking sent there. And he's kept there for years. And then eventually the U.S. was like, whoops, our bad, and then we released him. This is what happened with so many of the characters there. Talk about the torture. We did anal rape torture. This is what I'd say if I was Obama. Do you think the United States of America condones anal rape torture? Is that your disgusting view of this beautiful country? You say this to them. Guess what? There's no response to that. What are they going to say? Yes, anal rape torture. Fine, make them say it. You win. Boom. They are on the side of anal rape torture, which we literally did. So you can counter-argue, you can win. You just got to do it. Now, recently, Obama has been doing a lot of stuff that I'm going to give him credit for. Like, he's been continuously releasing nonviolent drug offenders. Keep fucking going. Release them all that you can. Apply pressure to the states to release the ones that you can't personally commute their sentences or pardon them. Do it. Keep going. You're fucking doing awesome when you do shit like that. I love the Cuba deal. I love the Iran deal. I love the immigration executive order, which unfortunately was something that the courts blocked, which is crazy because Obama just copied Reagan and the courts didn't block Reagan, so it just shows you it's a partisan hack on the court. That's a different conversation for a different day. He's done a lot of good things, new overtime rules for pay, for salaries. Keep going, man, keep going. You really want your legacy to be fantastic? You want it to be superb? Well, keep pushing on this front. Shut down Guantánamo. Do you understand how the history books will view it? The history books will forget that that it's been open your entire time in office and at the end you closed it. Because all they're going to say is that he was blocked the whole time. And that's partially true that he was blocked the whole time. I mean, all he had to do was kind of veto the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, and then there'd be no funding for Gitmo, and he could have fought it that way, but then they would have said, oh, you're not funding the troops. So there were other ways he could have fought it, but the history books won't get into that nitty-gritty and the details. They'll just say he shut it down, he gets the credit. So if you really care about your legacy, if you really care about, the future of the country, if you really care about abiding by the Constitution and abiding by rule of law, both in the U.S. and international rule of law, do it. Do it. And then rub the Republicans' face in it, and you will win the election if you properly counter-argue.